Hello, YouTube. Okay, I just finished washing my hair and it is drying right now. And I'm just going to sit here and tell y'all the story while it dries. So it's going to be really quick. I'm going to try to make it quick. And if you hear people talking in the background, that's my kids in the back. They're cleaning up their room, vacuuming and cleaning their bathroom and emptying out the dishwasher and doing all of those fun household chores that mommy doesn't want to do anymore because they're old enough to do those things now. So anyway, let me tell y'all this one time in band camp. This one time when I was in the Army band, yeah, I was a musician. I was a clarinet player for the Army band. United States Army, hoorah! We were traveling to a Navy base. And we went to this Navy base, I think in Kings Bay, Georgia. And when we got there, normally when we travel, we stop and, relax and things like this. So when we got there, the base was kind of quiet. So we were like, well, we see an officers club. So we're going to go to the officers club and maybe go have a drink or something. So anyways, I went and put on the cutest outfit. Honey, you could not tell me that I wasn't Aaliyah. Y'all remember Aaliyah? Honey, I had the chiseled stomach and my black form-fitting cargo pants and a burgundy halter top and some black platform heels. So anyways, y'all, I went to this club with some of my, co-workers, people in my unit. And the officers club was so dead. There was like nobody there. Nobody. And so we're in there, we're just chilling. And then right when I was about to decide to get ready to leave, I heard like this really loud rumbling. And then it sounded like a stampede of elephants. I didn't know what the crap was going on. At that very moment in time, about maybe 200, maybe 300, I don't know, 200 or 300 sailors just came running into the officers club. And apparently they had just come back home from being out to sea for several months. And so they were really glad to be home. And they all just had gotten off their boats, their ships, and came into the officers club ready to party. Well, considering I was the only young, sexy, black female in my unit, a lot of the, men off of the ship who were, predominantly African American came and surrounded me, and they were all like trying to holler, and I was like, what in the world? I felt like a celebrity. It was like paparazzi boo all on me. So anyways, they came and they wanted to get me drinks and they wanted to dance. And I'm like, I don't really drink that much, or if at all. So one guy was like, hey, let me buy you a drink. And I'm like, buy me a drink? For what? What am I going to owe you after this? So he was just like, just let me get you a drink. What are you drinking? Normally when I go to a club or to a gathering at night, I buy myself a Diet Coke. So I was like, let me get a Diet Coke. And he's like, no, a Diet Coke, really? For real? That sucks. So he got me a drink. I was like, what is this? And he was like, this is rum and Coke. I'm like, okay, I'll try that. So I tried it and it was pretty good. Then another guy walked up to me. He was like, hey, let me buy you a drink. And I'm like, another one? So he buys me a drink. It was something like, I don't know, a screwdriver or something. So he buys me this drink and I'm like, okay. So I drank it. And another guy bought me a drink, and another guy, and another guy. And my dumb butt did not realize that just because a guy buys you a drink, that you are not obligated to drink it. And if you do drink it, you don't owe him anything after that. That was his stupid butt for buying you a drink without, confirming what would come after that. So anyways, I was just dancing, having a good time, drinking these drinks. And then all of a sudden, I was waking up. I literally don't remember anything that happened on this military base. I have no idea. I blacked out. So when I did open up my eyes, I woke up and I kind of look around and everything was kind of like weird, like a dream or whatever. It was hardly nobody in there, maybe like 5 or 6 people from my unit who were still, at the bar getting a cocktail. And so I walked up to one of the guys in my unit and I asked him, hey, am I dreaming? What happened? He said, JB, girl, you had a good time. And I said, a good time? What the heck does that mean? He said, you really enjoyed yourself. So I'm like, I don't really remember. So anyways, I told him, I said, well, I'm ready to go back to my little barracks room, where the guest barracks where we were staying at the time, because we had to get up early in the morning to play for some predominant, some what do they call them? Some dignitaries, some military dignitaries, people who were, I think, coming from the White House, a couple of generals and stuff like that. And so I'm drunk, he's drunk, and we're both like leaning up against each other, walking out of the officers club. And as we walked out, we had to walk across this gigantic yard. It seemed like at least about 100 yards we had to go. And so it might have been less than that, but when you're drunk, honey, things seem so far away, for real. So I walked out and I ran into like a tree, like face first. And then I fell back into some bushes. And he walked into a handicap sign. The one, those poles that are right there in front of the parking space. He walked into that, and we both fell into these bushes. And we were like, had thorns and the prickly bush pieces all in our skin. I don't even know what kind of bush it was, so forgive me for not being able to describe it very well. I don't know how long we laid in that bush. But when we got out, we got up, walked across the yard. Well, we walked to the yard, but we couldn't make it because we were stumbling so bad. So we ended up walking on our hands and knees all the way across this like yard. And so he passed his place. He was like, I'm going to make sure you get to your room. He was a really good guy, real sweet guy. I was like, no, you go ahead. He said, no, I got to make sure you get to your room, because we're both like just wasted. So then we get to my stairs, and you have to like walk up 3 flights of stairs to get to my room. Well, we didn't walk, honey. We were on all fours, hands and knees, going up these stairs. So got up there, I put my key in the door, and right when I put my key in the door and kind of got my body halfway in, my commander opens up the door to his room way down the hallway, and he's looking. So I'm scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, because the guy who walked me to my room was married, and I didn't want him to think that, we were getting ready to go in there and, do the nasty, or that we had just finished doing the nasty, because I had somebody too. And so he was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, chief, everything, everything's fine, playing it off and everything. He's like, okay, y'all get some sleep. I'm like, okay. So my homeboy, my coworker, he got ready to leave, and I was like, thanks, for getting me to my room. And so I was so nervous that he wasn't going to make it back down the stairs, because he was slizzard, honey. He was gone. He was like 6 sheets to the wind, drunk. So he went down the stairs, and he climbed on all fours down the stairs, and then he crossed the grass on all fours going back to his room, because I watched him from the window to make sure he made it there okay. Then I laid across my bed, and I grabbed my cell phone, and come to find out, my man at the time had been calling me and texting me. And so, mind y'all, this was like, 16 years ago, something like that. So anyways, I looked at my phone, and I, answered the phone, and he was like, where you been? What you been doing? Who you been sleeping with? What's going on? Why you not answering your phone? All these questions. And I'm like, boo, it's no big deal. I hung out. I got a little tipsy, and I'm going to sleep it off. I'll be fine in the morning time. Well, this person took advantage of me. He realized that I was a little drunk, and he took advantage of me. He said, well, you don't love me. You don't love me. I said, oh, yeah, I do. I do, boo. He's like, well, if you love me, then you'll give me the passcode to your phone. I'm like, the passcode? He's like, yeah. To check your voice messages. He wanted to check my voice messages. So I, being the drunk dummy that I was at the time, gave him the passcode to my voicemail. Then he was like, you don't love me. You don't love me. I'm like, yes, I do, boo. And so he was like, well, give me the password to your email. And I'm like, okay, I'm drunk. So he also asked for the password to my, at the time, Black Planet account, if y'all remember that. And I think to my MySpace. So I gave him all of my passwords, because I was so drunk and out of it. And I had nothing to hide, so it was really no big deal. But the fact that somebody was able to take advantage of me because I was so drunk, was sobering for me. And I have never been drunk like that since. And that was years ago, you know, going on two decades ago, going on that. So, you know, y'all, I just don't do very well with alcohol. I don't. And to this day, you know, I'm 35 years old, and if I have a drink, I have like a sip, you know, maybe no more than like 3 or 4 ounces of anything, because I already know that I can't handle it. And you got some people who'll go out here and, you know, just drink and party up and just keep taking them to the head until they're just like incoherent. And I will never do that to myself ever again, ever. So lesson learned in a very harsh way, that I don't need to drink, especially if I'm going to be drinking and be in a place where I'm not very familiar with the area or the people around me. So anyway, yeah, that was my one time getting drunk. I say getting Navy drunk, because those sailors could handle that alcohol. Oh my God. They were drinking freaking alcohol like it was water. I mean, like literally just boom, boom, like Gatorade, just taking it to the head. So yeah, that one time, the last time. Anyway, that's my story time. My hair is getting dry. It's starting to feel really good. Ugh, I love my hair washing day. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace.